Hey guys, welcome to my newest video for today. For today's video, I'm going to be doing the next installment in watching as many first-time movies as I can. So this one is going to be movies 16 through to 20. I can't believe I've already watched like 20 first-time viewings that aren't cinema releases. Technically I'm up to 21 at the time of filming, but I haven't watched anything further. So I for this purpose of this video, I'm at 20. And I also want to say thank you so much for the response to the last video. I wasn't expecting that kind of push and the amount of engagement and likes that the video got, which was pretty big for me. And I don't know if the YouTube algorithm happened to pick it up and push the video, but thank you if you clicked on the video and you watched it and liked it and commented, and also, if you subscribe, because I have noticed I've gotten a few new subscribers as well. So, hello, welcome. And yes, if you like what you see on this channel, please feel free to subscribe and like and comment. And yeah, this is basically a place where I just talk about pretty much anything, mostly movies, but sometimes there'll be TV shows and books, and hopefully cinema trips will be returning soon. I'm hoping it'll be next week, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, so this is the next batch of first time viewings, as I said. So the first movie that I have to talk about is actually a Korean movie called The Host. So I'm a bit late to this party. I know a lot of people love this movie, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this one. It's time. And this movie was fantastic. It's by the director of Parasite, because that's partly why I was curious to check it out, because I loved Parasite when that came out a few years ago, and I was curious to see what, like, because it's like a creature feature type movie. I wasn't expecting it to be as dark as the movie was. So just as a warning, this movie gets pretty dark. There's a lot of dark themes that get covered. Basically, the premise of this movie is chemicals get dumped into a river, and over time a monster emerges and starts attacking the civilian population in South Korea. Basically, they're forced to go into a lockdown, similar to what we've seen in recent years. Because that's the other thing that I wanted to mention. There's a lot of similarities between what's happened in the last 5 years politically and health-wise, because this movie came out in 2006. So I was watching it and I went, I feel like I've lived this movie. So maybe not to that extreme, but that's what it felt like at times, like watching it and like, yeah, we've been through all of that. So, but yes, it was excellent. I didn't have any trouble like following along with the story. I was watching it via subtitles, obviously. But yeah, this was fantastic. The cast was fantastic. It's sort of like, because it's following a family, like a very, I guess, not misfit type thing, but they don't all get along. Like, they've all got their own agendas, their own goals. They don't all see eye to eye, but they're dealing with grief, and that's sort of what spurns the events of this film. Because one of their, because there's like a group, like a family, one of the brothers' children, like daughter, gets taken, and we sort of follow in the aftermath of that, because he was in like close proximity to the monster. And yeah, it's just, it was really good. It was very, as I said, very eerie watching it, like a movie from 20 years ago. Kind of similar to how like it would be watching I haven't seen Contagion since I saw it at the cinema. I don't think I could sit through it now. I mean, aside from the fact that I hated Jude Law's character so much. But that's a topic for another time. But yes, it's very similar to that type of feeling. And yeah, I was not expecting the roller coaster of emotions I was experiencing watching this movie, because there was a lot of like, yeah, very strong, like it was a mix of, yeah, humor, and then like there'd be some random jokes throughout it, and then it would be back to serious topics. But oh, I loved this movie. 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely recommend checking it out, but yeah, be in mind that it's very dark, and yeah, very like, not obviously the exact same situation with events of the past, say, 5-6 years, but it's similar. It has that similar vibe to it, and yeah, I was not expecting that when I watched this movie. So that was The Host. Then I watched Dangerous Animals, which came out last year. I got this for a really good price to rent on Amazon Prime. Because it never came to my cinema, which was a bit surprising because this is an Australian movie. It has Australian actors. I don't know why my local cinema never got it. So, but yeah, this was interesting because, I mean, it's very basic with the premise, like, cause it sort of starts out that female tourists have been targeted by, I guess you could call him a serial killer, played by Jai Courtney. And then he targets, because I think the basic goal is he tries to have two, because he likes to film the actual deaths, because basically what he does is he takes them out onto the water, using, like, because he operates a cage diving business. That's how he sort of picks out his targets. And then when he traps his victim, he uses like a harness to drop them over the water where the sharks are, and then he films everything, and he films the person watching reaction. And then he, like, the next, because he has one victim, he gets another one, only because she's like, she doesn't stay in one place too long, she likes to travel, and she ends up proving to be quite a bit of a fighter. I was actually quite impressed with how many times she tried to escape this situation. Not that I blame her, because yeah, terrible way to go, and also because shark attacks have been in the news a lot in Australia, because I'm also Australian, in case I haven't worked that bit out. And aside from the fact that I was like already weary of the idea of cage diving, thanks to 47 meters down, I was like, okay, never going cage diving ever. So yeah, so it's sort of dealing, like, because she's trapped on this boat, and that it's like in the middle of the ocean, and she's trying to do her best to escape, and there's only one other person who sort of knew her on the mainland, and it was only like a one-night stand type thing. And yeah, he's trying to convince people that she's lost, and he's like, you only knew her for one night, and like it sort of goes from there. But I actually didn't mind this one. It was a decent shark horror film, and there's not many of those ones, and I don't know if it's necessarily one that I would have a repeat watch of. Like, I don't know if it'd be a regular, like, 31 Days of Horror or something, but I could see myself revisiting this one down the line. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then I finally got around to watching Wake Up Dead Man, the third film in the Knives Out movies. This one was interesting. I didn't like that it took 40 minutes for Daniel Craig's character to turn up, because I didn't really care enough about the main characters, because we're following the story, so we're introduced to all these different characters in this small town, and then this new priest who arrived and was trying to connect like to his flock, but because they're like very, very set in their ways, there's like something happening, like they're plotting, and because one of the priests is like a hellfire and brimstone kind of priest, and yeah, it just took way too long for the story to actually kick off. Once the story kicked off, it was excellent. I enjoyed myself. I especially really liked Glenn Close's character and her involvement in the movie. I had no idea what was actually happening, because I kept like second guessing what was going on. So I half expected like an Agatha Christie style reveal where the person who they suspected was actually the person, but there was like not enough evidence, like based on the evidence that wouldn't be enough to convict. I was half expecting that to happen, the way the story kept unfolding. But yeah, so I didn't like the sort of the first bit of the movie, but once it got going and I was invested in the story and the mystery, I did like it. I also liked that we got the reveal that Blanc likes Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals. I got a kick out of that because it's the bit where he's listening to Cats and then he plays the Phantom of the Opera overture. I got a kick out of that one. So yeah, so it has a great cast, except Mila or Mila Kunis. I'm not a fan of her. I haven't been for like the past decade. I haven't liked it. Like, I started not liking her before everyone else jumped on the thing with everything that happened regarding a certain court case. But yeah, that's neither here nor now. I'm just not a fan of Mila Kunis. So yeah, so she was a bit of a distraction for me, because everyone else is great in this movie, but yeah, she's just there. And I suppose you could say, yeah, but that's the script, but I think part of it's her, and probably part of it's also my dislike of her, so. But I ended up giving Wake Up Dead Man a 4 out of 5 stars. It's not my favourite. I think the first one is still my favourite, but I did end up enjoying it, so I'm glad I finally did watch it. And then for the last two movies, they're sort of connected because I ended up, over one weekend, I sort of binged the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy. So I had previously seen the first one, but it was a couple of years ago, so I rewatched it, and then I watched 2 and 3, so I'll talk about 2 and 3, because they were the first time viewings, and that'll round up this video. So part 2 was a bit of a letdown because I found part 1 really fascinating, following Barry and him jumping from timeline to like story to story, and like flashes of his memory, because he was trying to work out where he was in the timeline and what was going on, because I sort of really liked that. I found with following Kara, it wasn't as engaging, because like, yeah, it felt a bit convoluted, especially like right at the end. I won't say what happens in case you haven't seen Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, because it's like part 2 of a trilogy. But yeah, that just sort of felt really unnecessary. I mean, I know it was to set up the big bad of part 3 and the final showdown, but yeah, I didn't like this one nearly as much. The only parts I actually did really like were the Bat family scenes. I loved that, especially the fight when they all turned on each other, because they have a lot of issues and they needed to really blow off some steam. So, but yeah, I loved the Bat family scenes. Everything else, the story itself was alright. It just was not as strong as the first one. It definitely suffered from second movie in a trilogy syndrome. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's, yeah, I just didn't engage with it as much. Part 3 was definitely an improvement. I thought this one was a much stronger. I liked seeing the different parallel universes and everyone trying to stay afloat and trying to survive this post-apocalyptic world, and just having all the different versions of characters interacting. That was a lot of fun. I liked, because I haven't seen a lot of the animated stories, so I haven't read a lot of the comics. I've read some, like I've read a few Batman comics and that, but not a lot of like Justice League, so some of the stories I'm not as familiar with. So I did actually like how they referenced, I think it's Darkseid, I think that's how it's pronounced, who I mostly know from the Justice League movie. So I think he was the one in the Justice League movie. It's been so long since I've seen it. And I've seen the Snyder Cut too, so yeah, my memory's a bit iffy on that one, but yeah, yeah, that was interesting how they kept referring it to Darkseid being a fixed point. And then, so what was it? Oh, and then you had Constantine, who I loved in this one. I love that we got actually a lot of Constantine in this one, because I loved him on Legends of Tomorrow. And yeah, I love this particular version of Constantine. So so yeah, so that was really interesting, because he sort of because you sort of have some time travel elements in this, and they're trying to fix what's happened, and then he's like, they're sort of like, oh, we can stop this from ever happening, but they're like, no, this is a fixed point, and you can't change it, because I was like, yeah, because I'm also a Whovian as well, so like fixed points and things like that are sort of, I quite like when they're like, oh, this particular thing has to happen, so, but yeah, part 3 was definitely an improvement over part 2. I gave part 3 4 out of 5 stars. Part 1 still my favourite, but I thought it ended pretty strongly, and as I said, I haven't seen a lot of the animated ones. That's one of my goals this year, is to actually watch all the DC animated Blu-rays that I bought when I went through my Bat Family phase a few years ago. So, but yeah, that is basically everything I have to talk about. So those were the last 5 movies that I watched that were first time viewing. So I had 3 that were out of my physical media collection. 1 was a rental, and then 1 was on streaming. So I don't think I did too badly, because I'm trying to watch the ones that I've had in my collection for years, and I'm only now just getting around to it. So I'm going to stop it here. Thank you guys for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!